Tengo el gusto de saludar y ofrecer el uso de la palabra a la comisionada Marion Bethel, relatora sobre los derechos de las mujeres de la Comisión Interamericana de Derechos Humanos. Comisionada Bethel, bienvenida y tiene usted el uso de la palabra.
Other speakers, Alejandra Mora, Maria Celeste Fuenmayor, and Sahana Dapumbur. The Commission appreciates the invitation to this special session to commemorate International Women's Day. It is an honor to share this space with such a distinguished panel of women. We have seen the transformative power of technology in women's lives. The digital space has opened new paths to confront old problems. It has offered fresh perspectives and new tools, especially when it has been designed and used ethically and responsibly. For instance, in terms of health, digital platforms and mobile applications are expanding women's access to information, services, and care, even in remote areas. In education, large-scale initiatives across the regions have used universal device distribution and connectivity to close the digital divide. And in matters of security, technology has enabled survivors of gender-based violence to seek help through mobile apps and public panic buttons for faster response and protection. However, this same space has become a new domain for continued discrimination and violence against women. What was meant to connect us has, in many cases, been used to intimidate and silence. In the region, at least 73% of women have experienced some form of online violence. Some face online harassment, cyberstalking, doxing, and technology-facilitated abuse by intimate partners, including the monitoring of their devices and tracking of their location. They are also subjected to sexual violence in digital forms, including the non-consensual sharing of intimate images, manipulated deepfakes, AI-generated sexual content, and online exploitation and grooming. Much of this abuse takes place on privately owned platforms like social media companies, messaging services, dating apps, and websites where data is not always accessible. This context creates an environment in which women are effectively pushed out of digital spaces. The persistence of gender stereotypes, whether in the design of an app, in online gaming communities, or in everyday interactions, sends a subtle but powerful message. Women do not belong here. And over time, that message limits women's equal participation online, hindering their exercise of other rights. As we are witnessing, the digital world is evolving at extraordinary speed, and our institutions appear to be struggling to keep pace. Yet the principles and standards already established remain applicable. Let me highlight 3 key standards that must guide our efforts to protect women's rights. The Interamerican standards. First, the right of women, girls, and adolescents to live a life free from violence and discrimination, and the general duty to guarantee rights compels states to organize their entire institutional framework to prevent, investigate, punish, and repair gender-based violence, including when it occurs online. This entails updating and harmonizing legal frameworks on the prevention and punishment of violence against women so that states can fully address digital gender-based violence in all its forms. Moreover, when drafting laws and policies, states must recognize that the digital sphere is not a neutral space. Those who face intersecting forms of inequality, including young girls and adolescents, human rights defenders, women with disabilities, Indigenous, Afro-descendant and rural women, and LGBTI persons are at greater risk of digital harm. Secondly, particularly where legal reform is not immediate, states must apply a gender perspective when assessing all forms of online aggression and attacks, even when these offenses are drafted in gender-neutral terms. Recognizing the gendered impact of digital harm is essential to ensure that laws are interpreted and enforced in a way that truly protects women. Third, under the Convention of Belém do Pará, the state's heightened duty of due diligence requires the design and implementation of precautionary judicial remedies that are simple, swift, and accessible, capable of providing timely and effective protection against digital violence. These mechanisms should prevent further harm and safeguard women from re-victimization, both online and offline. At the same time, we must confront a paradox. While technology has enabled us to map and track other forms of violence, such as femicide, reliable data on digital violence remains scarce. Nonetheless, states have a clear obligation to ensure the investigation and systematic collection of statistics and relevant information on the causes, prevalence, and consequences of violence against women in the digital sphere. Without solid data, effective policy responses are simply not possible. Ultimately, the success of digital transformation lies not only in innovation, but in its capacity to include everyone. It must fully embrace women in all their diversity and be grounded in a safe and healthy real-world environment, one that ensures sustainable conditions for everyone to participate and thrive. I thank you for this time.
Gracias, comisionada, por su trabajo, por su participación y por la relatoría de su cargo, el trabajo que desarrolla.